Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming to our first webinar in this webinar series. In this webinar, we will be discussing the ketogenic diet for weight management in elite athletes. My name is Addie Lears. I'm a graduate student at Concordia College in Moorhead, Minnesota. I did my graduate capstone research on weight management practices in elite athletes. So in this webinar, I will be discussing what research is out there on the ketogenic diet in the athlete population. To start, I'll discuss the learning objectives. So objective 1 is to be able to define the ketogenic diet in terms of weight management. Objective 2, be aware of the research that is currently available on the use of a ketogenic diet to assist with weight loss, weight maintenance, and weight gain. And objective 3, understand the impact the ketogenic diet can have on body composition and athletic performance. So I'm sure everyone has heard of the ketogenic at some point in their life. However, what exactly is it? So there's a lot of different entities of the ketogenic diet, but it generally consists of a low level of carbohydrates in relation to fat intake and total energy or calorie intake. So it's generally under 50 grams per day of carbohydrate intake. So the whole goal of the keto diet is that one is limiting glucose availability to their tissues. So glucose comes from carbohydrates, and when one is reducing that glucose to the tissues, the liver starts to produce something known as ketone bodies. So this is what's known as ketogenesis, and these ketone bodies can provide energy to the body. So this state's known as ketosis, in which your body is using fat instead of carbohydrates as fuel. So now that we have the definition of the keto diet under our belt, let's discuss what research is available on the keto diet for the 3 forms of weight management. So to start, we're going to look at weight loss. There's been 3 studies conducted in the past 10 or so years that have looked at the effect of the keto diet on body composition and performance for athletes looking to lose weight. So the first of these was conducted in 2012 by Paoli and colleagues. So we're looking at the left-hand side here. This study had participants who were elite male artistic gymnasts, and these participants followed both a keto diet and a normal diet, both for 30 days. Before and after both of these diets, they had their body composition and performance measured. So researchers from the study found that there were no significant differences in strength tests noticed after following a keto diet compared to a normal diet. After following the keto diet, though, participants had weight and fat mass decrease, while lean body mass was maintained. So this led researchers to conclude that the keto diet, or any type of a low carbohydrate diet like the keto diet, could be useful for athletes looking to, lose weight while still maintaining body mass and not compromising performance. The second study we're going to look at in the middle was published a few years later in 2014. So this study looked at 20 Taekwondo adolescent athletes. So these participants were assigned to one of 2 groups, either the ketogenic diet group or the non-keto diet group. And whichever diet group they were assigned to, they followed that diet for 3 weeks. And both diets were hypocaloric, meaning that it was less calories than they needed to maintain their body weight. Before and after the diet intervention started, all participants had their body composition and performance measured. Results of this study found that both the keto diet group and the normal diet group had similar decreases in weight, fat mass, and lean body mass. However, the keto diet group did finish their 2,000-meter sprint in less time and felt less aerobically fatigued. So although there were no differences in body composition changes between the 2 diet groups, the keto diet did produce more favorable outcomes for performance. The last study we're going to look at is on the right-hand side. This one was published in 2018 by Green and colleagues. So this study wondered if a low-carbohydrate ketogenic diet could be used as an effective weight loss strategy in athletes who compete in weight class sports. So participants were intermediate to elite powerlifting and weightlifting athletes, and every participant followed a keto diet for 3 months, and then they followed their usual diet for 3 months. And before and after these diet interventions, they had their body composition and performance measured. So results from the study found that after following the keto diet, participants had higher reductions in body mass, which included lean body mass, compared to their baseline diet and their usual diet. Although the keto diet produced greater reductions in body mass, though, training and performance were not compromised. So again, although the keto diet group had decreases in lean body mass, their performance still, stayed the same. So what can we take away from those 3 studies on the keto diet for weight loss? Well, what we know is that it looks like the keto diet can help with weight loss without compromising performance or training. However, it's unclear whether lean body mass losses will be higher than that of a normal diet. Also, protein intake is always important during weight loss. However, what we just looked at with those 3 research studies is that research shows that a keto diet higher in protein can help offset what's known as muscle protein breakdown. So when one is already restricting intake, as one does when trying to lose weight, muscle protein breakdown is going to be a little bit higher than what's known as muscle protein synthesis. So usually muscle protein synthesis and muscle protein breakdown are about even. However, with restriction comes higher amounts of muscle protein breakdown. So if we can have higher protein intake during that restriction, it's going to help us increase that muscle protein synthesis, which is ultimately going to help maintain that lean body mass. Also, nutritional deficiencies are possible while following the keto diet just because you are limiting carbohydrate intake by quite a lot. And if you're looking to lose weight too, you're reducing intake, which could also cause nutritional deficiencies if one is not careful. Therefore, vitamin and mineral supplementation is recommended. However, always discuss that with your sports dietitian before starting any supplement. So next, we're going to look at the research on the keto diet for weight maintenance. We're only going to look at one study here that has been published. So this was published in 2020 by Wilson and colleagues. And this study looked at 25 resistance-trained men. And participants were assigned to one of 2 groups. So either the keto diet group or the Western diet group. And the Western diet is just a diet that's very similar to that of what the American diet is. So typically higher in fat, more processed foods, higher sugar intake. So the study was set up different than the studies we've looked at for weight loss. So this study had participants follow the diet and a resistance training protocol for 9 weeks. And then in weeks 10 and 11, the keto diet group had carbohydrates reintroduced. So body composition, performance, and several blood tests were analyzed before and after the diet started, after the diet, and then when carbohydrates were reintroduced. So what Wilson and colleagues found was that both diet groups, so the keto diet and the Western diet, had similar increases in muscle strength and power. However, the keto diet group had favorable body composition changes, so decreases in fat mass. There were also no negative changes found in subjects' blood lipid profiles or health parameters, even when following that keto diet. However, this study found an interesting fact that when carbohydrates were reintroduced in that keto diet group, their fat mass was negatively impacted. So their fat mass actually increased when carbohydrates were reintroduced. So did their blood triglycerides. However, their lean body mass was positively influenced. So lean body mass increased and aerobic power increased. So what can we take away from that study? Well, what we know now is that a keto diet along with resistance training may improve body composition, so decreasing that fat mass without negatively impacting performance, hormone status, or blood lipid profile, so things like cholesterol and triglycerides. However, I want to say that one should proceed with some caution if wanting to follow the keto diet for weight maintenance, just because the reintroduction of carbohydrates after participants had followed that keto diet for 9 weeks, which is a prolonged time, negatively impacted their body composition in that their fat mass increased. Also, their triglycerides increased, so this affected their blood lipid profile. Therefore, more research is needed to understand the effect of the keto diet in the athlete population, including more diverse athlete populations too. That study that we looked at by Wilson and colleagues only looked at males. So it's not known the effects that could happen in female athletes. The last type of weight management we're going to look at is weight gain. So although the keto diet is more commonly followed for weight loss and weight maintenance, there's actually been a study that looked at a hypercaloric ketogenic diet on weight gain in athletes. So a hypercaloric diet is just a diet that is providing more calories than one needs to maintain their body weight. So this study had 24 healthy adult men as their participants, and these participants were assigned to one of three groups. So there were two diet intervention groups, and these were the keto diet group and the non-keto diet group. Then the third group was just a control diet, so they weren't following any specific dietary intervention. The two diet interventions, so again, the keto diet group and the non-keto diet group, both followed a hypercaloric diet, and they followed this diet for an 8-week period. Both groups had body composition measured before and after the intervention period. This study did not look at performance, though. So what Vargas and colleagues found in their study was that the keto diet group experienced a greater reduction in fat mass when compared to the non-keto diet group. And only the non-keto diet group had increases in weight and lean body mass. So keep in mind, this study was looking at weight gain and using that hypercaloric diet. So the keto diet group, even though following that hypercaloric diet, did not have any significant changes in lean body mass. So this led Vargas and colleagues just to basically summarize that a low carbohydrate diet like the keto diet is not the best strategy for building muscle mass, as even though they were following that high calorie and high protein diet, the keto diet group didn't have any significant changes in that lean body mass. So putting it all together, I know I just kind of spit a lot of information at you, so let's summarize it here. So a keto diet high in protein can help one lose weight without compromising performance. However, from those three studies that we examined for weight loss, it's unclear whether lean body mass losses are greater than those of a normal diet. So we don't really know yet whether lean body mass would be maintained or would be lost. And it's also important to note that, again, it might not produce any more beneficial results than following a normal hypocaloric diet would. For weight maintenance, the keto diet, along with resistance training, may improve body composition, so improving that fat mass by decreasing it, without negatively impacting muscle performance, hormone status, or blood lipid profile. However, when looking at the keto diet for weight gain, it is not the best strategy to help build muscle mass. Some important considerations to know before starting the keto diet is that there isn't an extensive amount of research available on how the keto diet affects athletes, especially at the professional level. So some of these studies were conducted, in healthy, either resistance trained men or just healthy adults in general. So again, not actually at that elite athlete level. So we should proceed with some caution if wanting to start the keto diet, just because we don't really know the effects yet of how it could impact performance at such a high playing level. Also, the body's preferred fuel source is glucose, which comes from carbohydrates. So you're limiting, what your body wants and needs basically when you're doing the keto diet. This is why when one starts the keto diet, adverse symptoms such as low energy, extreme cravings, gastrointestinal symptoms may occur. And although these symptoms didn't show to affect performance in any of the studies we looked at, they could still impact your athletic performance. And it's always important to discuss your weight management plan with your sports dietitian before wanting to start a diet like the ketogenic diet. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to email me at addison.lears99@gmail.com. Here are my references if you want to do some more digging on any of these studies. And then we have our webinar assessment tool. So feel free to press pause and jot down your answers to these 5 questions, Once you're ready, then press play and it will take you to the end of the webinar, which is going to be the webinar assessment tool answer key. If you have any questions about these answers or questions, again, feel free to email me, and check out the next webinar for this webinar series, which discusses intermittent fasting for weight management in athletes. Have a great rest of your day.